Oh boy, it's just this is a never-ending story around this parts. Gotta tell you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is, I'll name this segment later. GTG spits that grease, so on and so forth. Title forever in the works. So if the title itself actually hasn't given me away yet, the hunt for BBC continues. The story of DSP and LTG. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet, but I do know DSP be wilding the hell out. And here's the crazy part, right? Before we actually get into this, you know how DSP is constantly saying that his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics are like manically obsessed with him and every little thing he does and so on and so forth. And Duty is like camped out of his house and shit, outside his house, waiting to get him and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Oswald and shit, or whatever. DSP is the exact same way, or he acts the exact same way, I should say, about his enemies. But in particular, LowTierGod. Did you guys know what DSP did today at 10 o'clock? All right, let me tell you. Let me actually see if I can find a tweet for you. Today, by the way, is July 31st of 2025. This is what DSP was doing at 10 o'clock. This ass clown is up here writing tweets to LTG. He didn't add him, or at him, I should say. But he writing tweets about fucking LTG in the early morning and shit. And ironically enough, too. Whatever. Well, look, I'll get to that. So he's up here doing Gen tweets saying shit like this. As you see, this DSP, the date, time, so on and so forth. Okay, reminder. If LTG played me in Street Fighter, that stream would beat Evo in views this weekend. Bullshit, it wouldn't, but I'll explain that in a minute. But he demands $5,000 to play. We now know this is due to his large monthly child support payments and why he moved into such a crappy new place with a roommate. What a broke bum. First thing, for someone who says that they're in their circle, they're staying in their sphere, they're on an island of their own, why are you sitting here obsessing about LTG? You know, this right here says a lot. One, you're chasing a match with LTG from 2 years ago. You're still chasing that. You're paying attention to Evo, which I don't know why, because you say you don't care about the competitive FGC, so I ain't caught your ass on that. $5,000, it was 10 grand the last time I checked. I think when that conversation was all said and done, it was 10 grand. You're paying attention to the child support payments. Big ups to Meth Bear for bringing that out. And then moving into a crappy place, which you can give credit to any LTG troll for that one. So what do we know from this tweet in particular? One, we know that DSP has been keeping tabs on LTG for quite a while. He never stopped, let's be honest. So he's still obsessing about LTG. He knows about the child support payments, which came from a detractor, by the way, Phil. You know about his new place, which came from a troll, an LTG troll, Phil. You're still, and you yourself are still pissed off that he wouldn't have this match with you, thinking that it's somehow going to break, you know, FGC Twitter and Reddit, and somehow you're going to beat the views of Evo, which the attendance of Evo this year, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is definitely on the light side. There's a lot of people talking about it. There's not nearly as much viewership. Not viewership, but as many attendees, and there's a lot of reasons for that. We won't get into that at the moment. So there's that. But his obsession with somehow, some way being able to beat Evo still doesn't make any damn sense to me. It never really did, and I don't think it ever really will. But his obsession with LowTierGod is even more fascinating. Way more fascinating. Because this obsession goes all the way back to, like, I want to say it's like 2016, but it could be 2018. When he tried to rope LTG in a match. Context. So initially what happened was DSP wanted to get Kenny Omega into a match. I want to say that's between 2016 and 2018. And that ended up getting a kibosh to it. And so DSP tried to go ahead and use LTG as his backup. And LTG didn't bite. And then it's kind of this escalation of DSP's obsession with LTG has kind of just branched off since then. Now, funny enough, I mentioned Kenny Omega, right? DSP and Kenny Omega have an interesting type of a situation too, per se. I feel like Kenny Omega made a series of tweets back in the day. I want to tell you, that was like 2014, 2015, maybe, And he was using a bunch of just DSP memes, like what am I supposed to do? What, dude? Oh my god, it's the mechanics and this, that, and that. It was a funny exchange of stuff. You know what? I know somebody who might actually have that. Dashfire, if you guys follow his channel, he does like the weekly DSP breakdowns and stuff, right? Dashfire might have it on his Twitter. He might. For some reason, he's the first person that comes to mind. Well, one, because I follow him on Twitter, and two, like, I'm pretty confident that he has it. I'm pretty confident that he has those series of tweets from Kenny. There's like 4 or 5 of them, but Dashfire has them all collaged. Big ups to Dashfire. But I'm pretty sure he has it on his Twitter. But anyway, so that was like the earliest example of Kenny Omega dunking on DSP. But that makes sense because Kenny follows the FGC and he has for a very, very long time. And he's been on YouTube. So that's a thing. And then as history has taught us amongst wrestlers, there are plenty of wrestlers that have clowned DSP for one thing or another and whatnot. There's a bunch of recent examples, honestly, but I think one of the more famous examples is Adam Cole when he was streaming on, I think he still streams on Twitch, but during one of Adam Cole's streams on Twitch, they might have been playing Fall Guys or something, and one of the guys he was playing with threw out that meme and shit, and Adam immediately associated that shit with DSP. Funny shit. If I can find that clip, I'll try to put it in here.
And Gamebox took $5. Oh, the camera's on.
Who said that? Who said that?
Gamebox said that.
Oh, the camera's on.
Camera's on the whole time.
Ah, the whole time, huh? Hello.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
All right, so we got.
Or I'll have someone else do it. So there's that. So this thing right here, so let's go back to the tweet. So that's the situation with Kenny Omega. But DSP has been following LTG since 2023 as it pertains to this match with Evo. If you're talking about just a match in Street Fighter, that goes back to like 2000, it might be 2018. But I want to say somewhere between 2016 and 2018 had DSP's been chasing for that. And all of that stemmed from him trying to get the match with Kenny Omega and it didn't happen. You know what? If you give me just a second, I'll see if I can find those tweets. I will do that. For you, it should be just a second. For me, it'll probably be like, okay, your boy got it. All right, here's the thing. I was right about Dashfire. He does have the old Kenny Omega tweets. For some reason, my plugin won't let me bring my plugin for Twitter for OBS or X, whatever, won't let me bring that in. And for some reason, I'm not able to screenshot it either, which buggy computer mechanics, internet mechanics, whatever you want to call it. So that's on me. But Dashy has it. If you go to Dashy's Twitter, you look through it a little bit, he does actually have it. But I was able to get these. So the Twitter gods, Elon didn't completely shut me out. Okay, here we go. This goes back to the original challenge that was from 2018. Sorry, I said between 2016 and 2018. So I was still somewhat right. But clarification for all of those. This tweet was attached to Kenny's original tweet where it has something to do with Final Fight and I think Street Fighter V in particular. So DSP, who basically clout chases whenever he can, goes ahead and slides under Kenny's tweet. Says, hey, Kenny, will you be getting Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection? It's one of the biggest releases of the year for me and would love to run some sets with you in any of the games, knowing that you're a longtime player and fan just like me, because DSP has to associate himself with everything, right? So this is, like I said, this is April 18th of 2018. You can still find this on Twitter. Obviously, I found it on Twitter. I found it myself. You know what I'm saying? If I can find it, you can find it. 20. Kenny Omega and whatnot responds back and says, I imagine I'm getting it probably for PS4 and or Switch, because Kenny plays pretty much everything on multiple systems. And yeah, with plenty of games, could make for some interesting variety. I'm down. DSP goes ahead and responds. That sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan, sir. Lowercase s, by the way. It's supposed to be an uppercase s, Phil. You should know better by now. I'll be getting it on PS4 and possibly other platforms if there's enough demand. Which we know he definitely, if I remember correctly, he definitely played that on Switch. Growing up playing these games in arcades, looking forward to it. So this all kind of falls into sequence of events for DSP. Now, Is there another tweet though? Give me just a second. There should be one more tweet here that kind of blows it all up out of the water. It was a Good Samaritan who had there was a Good Samaritan who came through and was like, hey, before you get any matches with DSP, Kenny, you need to know what skin that you're about to have in this game, if that's the case. Here, I don't see it here. Give me just a second. And we're back after literally like 10 seconds. It was literally right under this. I don't know how I missed that because I'm a demi. Okay, here we go. So under all this nonsense, right? At Save the Pay Pigs. Love that name, by the way. Let's see. Before you do anything with DSP, you should know that all of these things commented on this tweet have video evidence to support, which is true. And Kenny probably had already seen all this because it's alleged, but it doesn't. It's alleged, and I feel like I'm on good authority. I'm pretty sure this is a thing. Wrestlers are, they talk, right? So DSP being a fucking meme is a thing because a lot of wrestlers play video games and shit. So the meme being passed around on DSP is a thing. I had heard back in 2020 that it's alleged, and I believe it. I choose to believe it, but I honestly believe it, that there were SnortBucks videos being passed around amongst wrestlers and whatnot. And on certain wrestler Reddits and or Discords, it wouldn't have been, especially back then, it wouldn't be outside of the norm of seeing a SnortBucks video or a Memology video or whatever pertaining to wrestling and pertaining to something DSP said that's stupid getting passed around there for a variety of reasons. I choose to believe that because I honestly think it happened. And like I said, I've been in my fair share of Street Fighter fucking discourse, and they do get passed around there and whatnot. People love them things, so I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, so so like I said, Save the Pay Pigs comments that. Kenny says, let's see, as with most of my other side projects, I dedicate my time and attention to things that have a positive impact on the people and or scenes involved. It comes down to the fans in the end. Otherwise, if I run into someone in ranked, etc., so be it. So this isn't Kenny. So Kenny, politically, if you will, is playing his cards pretty well. Hey, if he runs into Darksydephil in ranking or whatever, or well, no, if you know what I'm saying, hey, I didn't agree to anything. It's a side project. If I decide to get to it, I get to it because, again, I'm just trying to do what's best for the fans and the communities and the scenes. But if I run into DSP in the rank and he gets mollywopped, he get mollywopped. So that's Kenny just being very political as it pertains to it. So that's how long so that's when DSP tried to make that attempt. When that fell through, then that's when DSP formally challenged LTG in 30th anniversary as well. I think if I remember correctly, DSP said that he would more than likely win in Super Turbo. LTG would win in Third Strike, and I think they wanted to play like Alpha or something else to kind of make the difference, or DSP did. It's in a video for sure. If I can find it, I'll try to clip it in here. And so there's that. My thing, though, ladies and gentlemen, is DSP is still harping on this bullshit, right? From 2 years ago. Keep in mind, 2 years ago, LTG had told DSP that, hey, you need to better your setup. Hey, you need to take better care of yourself. Hey, you need to dress your age. And what happened? DSP did all of those things. Kind of, sort of. He didn't really take better care of himself or whatever. But the other things he poorly attempted to do. So it doesn't surprise me, that we're going into EVO 2025. DSP has, in air quotes, made these changes, and now he's trying to bait LTG in a match now. It doesn't surprise me. My thing is, DSP is so fucking stupid. This shit didn't work 2 years ago. What makes you think it's gonna work now? Now, I will, I'm gonna clip in some, as I usually do. There's gonna be a couple of clips that's gonna follow this in a minute to what happened 2 years ago, at least what DSP was saying. I won't do the whole thing. I may just do a video and whatnot, because, there was like 3 or 4 days of back and forth between LTG and DSP. Well documented, by the way. But I'm just going to go over DSP's initial rant. That's what I'll clip in. And you guys can see that for yourself and make your own assumption. Should be right about here.
if you can't notice, it's been a very busy 24 hours for me here on DSP Gaming. First of all, I don't know if you've noticed, but based on the feedback that I received yesterday on the podcast, I've been working on my sexy, all right? So I switched up shirts, so now I'm wearing a nice tight pop culture reference shirt to be at the height of fashion, and also I'm wearing a piece of jewelry, a necklace on the outside of my shirt to try to look nice and sexy for you on the stream today. Now, the problem is, sadly, I'm poverty status, all right? So because I'm poverty status streaming, I couldn't afford to get a real piece of jewelry, so I just grabbed whatever was hanging around in my office here, and I just tossed it on. But at least now, my looks must be improving, and they must be getting up to standard of what's expected of a professional-level streamer who would be spoken to by another streamer, correct? Anyway.
And somebody tell DSP to get off my dick.
Cool. Oh, the Walmart NPC in chat is telling me that I'm looking sexy today. Not sexy, sexy. There you go. Thank you. I tried to look as crispy as possible. I don't know if you do look. The hairline, the jawline. I got my jewelry on the outside of my branded pop culture shirt. I'm trying to look nice and crispy for you.
Darksydephil is a stupid, cowardly, ugly, jobless, narcissistic, egotistical man-child who begs for people's money just by sitting on his fat ass.
Go. After having reacted to all that yesterday, I laid down the law. I said, it's this simple. You're going to fucking talk about me for, 10, 15 minutes. You're going to insult me constantly. All stuff that literally has nothing to do with anything I said about you. That's fucked up. So, the only content that we could ever do together that would be beneficial would be to do a grudge match of Street Fighter 6. And I think that we should do it because I think that it's going to be something that our fans want to see, our viewers want to see. I say fans and viewers because they're kind of different. Sometimes you have a fan base, but you also have a hater base, right? Like, I think our haters would equally like to see us face off in Street Fighter 6 as much as our fans. And it would be hype, and everyone would want to see it, right? I even proposed, let's make this big business. Let's get this so hype. Let's do it during EVO. While EVO is going on and they're doing their qualifying rounds of bullshit, instead of watching the paint dry, people could jump over to our streams and watch us fight. And people would be hyped. I said, how much you want to bet if we did this during EVO? People at fucking EVO would say, fuck EVO. I'm going to watch this shit on my phone right now. Everyone's going to be sitting there watching it on their phones because they want to see it because it's so hype, right? So I made this proposition. Let's do it. And, the thing is, during his 10-minute unhinged rant, he basically said, well, the only way I would ever do anything with Darksydephil is if I got paid $5,000. So I even said this. Get that from your viewers because you have supportive viewers. Are you not aware of that? I mean, the guy has 3,000 paid subs on Twitch. He's making bank every month on Twitch just by streaming. So if that's the case, I'm pretty sure your viewers would love to see you do a grudge match and they would support it. If they like you so much, why wouldn't they support you? So let them support you. Let them give you $5,000 to do this grudge match. And let's fucking trump EVO. Seriously, let's just trump that shit. Let's actually get more attendance and more interest on our stream than the EVO stream. All right? So that's where we left it yesterday. And I even said, I'm done talking about it now. Unless there's more developments, I'm not going to be talking about this topic again because there's no point. If he just ignores it and I ignore it, then it's dead. But, unless there's developments. If there's developments, I'll talk about them again. Well, there's developments, okay? There's actually 2 developments that have happened, okay? So let's talk about those developments this morning. Development number 1. I was contacted by someone, and I am fascinated by the information that was presented to me. Now, keep in mind, this is just information that was presented to me. I really don't have any way to vet or confirm this information, all right? But I received an email from someone, and I'm going to read it word for word. I'm not even going to spin it in a way. I'm literally going to read the email word for you guys. You ready? Why LTG is bitter about the 50K. Wings was once asked if LTG should replace you on the podcast. Wings stated that he suggested being a good replacement, but Keemstar rejected it, saying LTG wouldn't work. Word for word from the email that I received. So for background of this, because if you're wondering, what is this podcast? Why the hell is LTG talking about a $50,000 podcast? So apparently last year, Keemstar wanted to do a podcast with me, Boogie, and Wings of Redemption. He was going to call it the Lol Cow Cast, All right. He was going to pay us each $50,000 to do it. And then we were going to own a portion of the podcast. So if it became profitable, we were going to make money ongoing from this. However, Keemstar failed to be professional, failed to contact me in any kind of a human way because he's a fucking idiot. He thinks that everything revolves around him. So my whole life schedule and my business and everything should be dropped just to talk to this man who I really want no association with whatsoever. I think he's a fucking clown. He's a degenerate. I hate the content he puts out. I would never want to be associated with him. So basically it never happened, okay? So then what happened was Keemstar wouldn't let it go. He kept talking about it publicly. He lied. Earlier this year, he lied saying that I still have a chance to be on the show. I was like, dude, I don't want to be on your fucking show. I've said it a million times. Doesn't matter how many times you say it. Then he lied and said things like he was going to get someone else to do it. Guess what? Guess what, guys? It's July 2023. There's still no podcast, okay? So if anything, what this shows is that he had an idea. Without me, the idea won't work. And so it's never going to happen. Okay? If it does happen, great. More power to them. I told them, do the pod. Why is it months and months later and the podcast still didn't happen? Because they needed me for it. All right? They know that. They know I was the thing that was hinging the whole fucking thing and gluing it together. And without me, they have no show. So, anyway, what ended up happening was for a short period of time, Keemstar was talking online saying, who do you guys think should be the replacement for DSP on the podcast? And a lot of names came up, like Review Tech USA and stuff. And I guess LTG was one. And from what I'm being told here, you know, Wings was basically sold that LTG would work. And he talked to Keemstar. And Keemstar said, no, LTG would not work for this show. All right. So why is LTG angry about the 50K? Because he didn't get it. He didn't get offered it. Right? So he's mad. He's mad salty because he wanted that bag. He wanted that payday. And he's not offered the payday because no one wants him on the podcast. You know? Again, if you're looking at value added and whatever, people are looking at it and saying that wouldn't add the value to the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there. Is there an association between me and LTG? Well, we're both fighting game players. I'm a washed up one, right? He's kind of like, he was at one point kind of competitive. He's not anymore, right? But now he's prominent online. I used to be in the tournament scene. I'm not anymore. I'm washed up. But at least we have association. You understand? Like, we do. We have the fighting game thing as our association, right? What relation does LTG have to Wings of Redemption or Boogie? Zero. Like, literally zero. He wouldn't be able to relate. That show wouldn't work. I agree. If you ask my opinion, it wouldn't work on that show. It would be like worlds colliding and making no sense. It's like, you know, trying to mix, I don't know, you know, peanut butter with olive oil or something. You know, it's like, yuck. It's going to be a messy, it's not going to mix. It's going to be disgusting, right? You don't want that. So, you know, I get it. But I think he's pissed. I think he's actually pissed off because he wanted that money. He's just money, man. So he's holding it against me that I didn't take the money, but then he couldn't take the spot that I didn't take, right? He's mad about that. Why are you mad at me? Why are you projecting that onto me? Be mad at yourself that no one wants you on the show. Not me. I'm not the reason you're not on the show. How about this? Wings, Boogie, Keemstar, put LTG on the podcast. Make the podcast together. Give the man $50,000 and allow him to be on the show. Do it. There. I want it. Give you the blessing. Take the money. But don't fucking project it on me. I have nothing to do with that. Why are you mad at me? Why are you salty at me? Because I turned it down because I want nothing to do with Keemstar. Like, what are you, out of your mind? That's fucking stupid. You say, well, you call me dumb. No, I'm not dumb because I don't want to be roped into something for the rest of my fucking life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be roped into something forever. I don't. So, you know, forget that shit. I have the ability to pass up on an offer. So do you, right? You're apparently passing up on any offers about doing stuff with me, so I have the ability to pass up on an offer for Keemstar. There's no criticism there. You have no right to criticize me for saying that I don't want to do something I didn't want to do, and you have no right to project that on me because you're salty because you want the money. Anything for this, right? Okay? Now, in addition to that, there's another big follow-up, ladies and gentlemen, all right? And this is really the reason why I'm talking about this today, not the email, because the email is just speculation, right? So, after my podcast yesterday, all right, obviously all the haters clipped it. It was all over the internet, tens of thousands of views everywhere, right? And of course, here's the thing. I would say, oh, LTG got wind of it and watched it, and then he responded. No. Do you want to know what happened? You ready for this? Here's what actually happened. You ready for this? Okay, get ready for this. LTG DM'd me on Xer, not Twitter anymore. It's Xer or X. He DM'd me on the X app. Okay? Would you like to know what he said? Sure. I'm going to show you what he said right now. I'm going to show it to you word for fucking word. All right? This is what he sent me yesterday. Okay? Keep in mind, I've not DM'd this guy since June when Street Fighter 6 came out, and I said, hey, just so you know, I'm always open to a match if you ever want to do one, even though I know you're probably not interested. It was a very friendly DM that I sent him in like mid-June. Okay? So I haven't talked to this guy in a month and a half. This is what he sends me yesterday on X. Stop clout chasing, bro. If you want to play me. If you want to play me in anything, so I guess it's a grammar error. If you want to play me in anything, it's going to cost you $5K. But what about the 5 bands? I'm curious. I thought he wanted 5 bands. This pisses me off because I was actually contacting local bands here in Seattle that I was going to send to him to perform. But now he wants 5K, not 5 bands. So that's a little upsetting because I did all that extra work by accident. This is sad AF. Stop mentioning me and upgrade your streams. Godspeed. Okay? So here's the thing. Read that again. Stop clout chasing, bro. Clout chasing. Let's analyze this message. Okay? Let's actually tear it apart. Clout chasing. LTG actually thinks I'm clout chasing him. LTG actually in his own mind thinks that there's clout associated with him to chase. He is living in a parallel universe. He actually thinks people care about him and that associating with him is somehow clout worthy. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He really has absolutely no concept of reality. He thinks in his head that because he has a crispy hairline and a peanut butter complexion and he works out every day and he has a deep voice and he has the godlike setup and he has the HD camera, that he has clout. He has no clout at all. Zero. He doesn't even have enough clout to be offered to be on the Lol Cow podcast. But he thinks I'm clout chasing him. I made a small segment on my podcast commentating about a stream of his that I watched an hour snippet of. And all I had was a few common, tame, unwild questions about it. And he thinks that's clout chasing him. Okay? Interesting. Let's continue. If you want to play me in anything, well, I'd like to play you in Street Fighter. I want to play you. But if you want to play me in anything, it's going to cost $5K. Okay? Let's analyze this portion of the DM. Okay? It's going to cost $5,000. Okay? LTG, I have something very important I need to tell you now. I hope people will clip this portion of the stream. Please do. And make sure he sees it. LTG, Mr. LowTierGod, I have something I need to tell you. It's very important. Okay? Please listen. There's absolutely nothing in this realm of existence, this plane of existence, this dimension of the multiverse, this planet, this country, the state you live in, the city you live in, the town you live in the home you live in, on the stream you stream. There is nothing at all that someone would ever pay you $5,000 for. At all. There's not $5,000 of value that you could provide. Do you understand? No one will ever pay you that much money for anything in your life. So it's time to give up on that. I don't know why you think that someone's going to pay you $5,000 to do a match or to be on a stream. No one's ever going to do that for you. Okay? It's never going to happen. No one's going to pay you $50,000 to be on the Lolcow cast. No one's going to pay you $5,000 for a Street Fighter grudge match. You don't have that value. Do you understand? Get it? I hope this is like a big smack to the face and maybe you can wake up now and realize your true value. You have value to an audience on the internet, but it's not a $5,000 payday. That's absolutely ludicrous to ask for that from anyone. No one would pay you that much money for anything you would ever, any service you would provide on this planet. No one would pay you that much money. It's time to have more realistic expectations. You ever watch the old skit on SNL? It was called Lowered Expectations, and it was a running joke where people would be like, well, I guess I got to settle if I want to find a partner because, you know, I'm never going to find anyone who's like perfect. It's time to lower your expectations, all right? If you really want something, be more reasonable. $5K is never going to happen because no one values you that much. Do you understand that? This is not me insulting you. I swear to God, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm trying to give you reality here. No one likes you enough that they're going to pay you $5,000 for anything. Period. Okay, let's continue. This is sad as fuck. For you it is. Because you literally didn't even see what I said on my show. But you still slammed me for 10 minutes. Completely unrelated to anything that I said. Stop mentioning me and upgrade your streams. Now this is great. Once again, I said I would not mention the guy again if nothing came of it. But you contacted me with a really stupid DM. All right? And he said, upgrade your streams. Okay? We already went through this yesterday. My streams look better than LTG's. My streams are clean. They don't have a bunch of clutter on the screen. My camera quality is better than his. My backgrounds are better than his. My entire setup's better than his. He doesn't get that because he hasn't seen my streams in like a year. So he's thinking back to the old setup. He's not looking at the new stuff. You know what I mean? So, what are you talking about? Seriously, what on earth are you talking about? You're talking literally out of your ass. So this is hilarious. Here's the ending. Godspeed. And with lickety-split Godspeed, LTG proceeded to ban me and block me on the X app so I can't actually respond. Because the truth is, I would have just responded directly to him and not shown you this today. I would have actually just, let's have a gentleman's conversation and talk about it. But instead, he blocked me. So why would you send me this and say, hey, for $5,000, I'll be in your content, but then block me so there's no way that I could actually respond and say anything about it? What if I actually was going to say, okay, yeah, all right, $5,000, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Let's have you in my content, right? So he just blocks. So now the only venue that I have to talk to this man is this right now, publicly speaking to you on a stream that will now end up being clipped and restreamed and made into a joke because you shut off the opportunity for reasonable conversation because you're a fucking idiot. Okay? So now it's time to get a little real. All right? All right? Let's get a little real now. All right? LTG, you fucked up. All right? I was being very reasonable. I was being very nice to you. I had calm, very commonplace, non-accusatory, non-criticizing questions about your content. All right? That's all it was. I had no problem with you at all. And you took it upon it yourself to do a 10-minute rant about my personal appearance, about the quality of my streams, about a million things about me that were all unqualified, including continuously bringing up a 50K podcast, which obviously you're incredibly jealous you're never going to get offered. You fucked up because you took the first step towards a public feud. Now, I don't like feuds. I don't want to be involved in a fucking public feud at all. I don't want to go back and forth with you endlessly because that's a waste of everyone's fucking time. The only reason that I would ever involve myself in something like this is because I feel like we can get something out of it. All right? So, I have some recommendations for you. All right? I want you to reassess your own streams. Since you're going to give it to me, allow me to give a little bit back to you. All right? You know how when you're criticizing yourself and you're praising yourself and you say, I don't want to talk to anyone. All right? Because I don't want to talk to you if you don't go to the gym every day. I don't want to talk to you if you got a high-pitched voice. I don't want to talk to you. If you're going to criticize people, all right, at least use proper, like descriptive adjectives. Use proper vocabulary. For example, something was nagging me yesterday after I watched your video, all right, your 10-minute rant against my looks. Something just kept nagging me badly. And it was just the references you were making. Peanut butter complexion. You actually kept saying peanut butter complexion against yourself like it's something positive, okay? Do you know what peanut butter is? You understand what it is? It's fat, it's oils, it's grease, and it's all smashed together into this ooey, sticky paste. You ever actually touch peanut butter? You know what it feels like? It's gross. It's disgusting. You get it on, you're like, it's stuck on my hands. I gotta go wash my hands. I can't get it off. There's peanut butter all over me. It gets stuck to the roof of your fucking mouth when you eat peanut butter. Huh? It tastes good, but it's actually gross. It's like I said, when you say peanut butter complexion to me, right? I think you're taking peanut butter, like chunky, Peter Pan or Jif peanut butter, and you're like spreading it on your face, and you got these big lumps of peanuts stuck all over your head, and it looks like you're covered in fucking giant zits, big infected zits ready to pop. When you say peanut butter complexion, it makes you think your skin is gross. That's the worst adjective you could use. Stop using it. Say, I have a clean complexion. I have a nice smooth complexion, acne free. Then I would understand what you're saying. If you're saying peanut butter, no one knows what the fuck you're talking about. You sound like an asshole, okay? Let's do something else. You know something you kept saying that really drove me nuts? A nice, crispy hairline. Nice, solid, crispy jawline. He loves the word crispy, okay? Now, when he's saying that, what he's meaning is my hairline is neat, symmetrical. Look at my face. My face is like proper, like if you know geometrically proper. My hairline is good. He kept bringing up my hairline, how my hairline's fucked up right here. See how fucked up this is? Yeah, he keeps bringing that up. But he's like the crispy hair, crispy, okay? Crispy. Do you know what the word crispy even means? Okay? Crispy is referring to something that has been cooked or scorched to the point that when you touch it or you bite into it, it makes a crackling or crisping sound or sensation. That's what the word crispy means, all right? The word you're looking for is crisp. A crisp hairline, a smooth and equal hairline, a crisp jawline, not crispy. The only way that your appearance is crispy is if you're dumping your fucking head in a deep fryer every morning before you go to stream. So what the fuck are you talking about? You're not crispy, dumbass. You're crisp. Use the right fucking words. You sound like an idiot every time you open your fucking mouth and you say something dumb like this. Fucking grow up and use an iota of the I know you're intelligent. I know you're an intelligent dude. But you say the dumbest shit and you're trying to use it as an insult against someone. Say the right fucking words, you moron. Like, seriously. Shut the fuck up about other people's appearance if you can't even describe your own in a way that makes any kind of fucking logical sense to the audience you're talking to. 90% of the people listening to you are laughing at you because they don't know what the fuck you're saying. 5 bands, crispy, what the fuck? Get a fucking dictionary. Get a thesaurus. Jesus. Now that that's been out, I got that out of my way. Let me get this fucking stupid fucking thing off. Okay? Now, I'd like to finish this in a way that it's going to kind of be productive rather than destructive. All right? You fucked up. You insulted me for absolutely no reason. You didn't have to, but you just thought, it's free reign for me to just say and do whatever the fuck I want. Wrong. Wrong. You don't just get to say and do whatever the fuck you want on this planet without consequences. You know, consequences have actions, pimp. So, it's this simple. Play me in Street Fighter 6. Stop being a bitch. Stop making excuses. Stop demanding unreasonable money that no one's ever going to pay you because no one values you that much. Play me in fucking Street Fighter 6. Let's make it a rivalry. Let's make it one of the most epic Street Fighter 6 rivalries ever. Let's make it the big first rivalry ever. Let's do it. Evo weekend. Play me first to 10. We'll lay down some rules. We'll make sure that both parties agree and both of our fan bases and hater bases are on the same page. It'll be one of the most streamed events ever in Street Fighter 6. People will be super fucking hyped for it. Let's do it. Or shut the fuck up forever.
And now that you've seen it, you know what I'm saying, we'll be able to actually be on a bit of better footing. DSP was never going to get that match. And him bringing fucking a lolcow live into it was bullshit. Mainly because when LTG basically said, my time is revenue, if you want to do this match, you got to pay me. DSP instead, as you guys have saw, goes on and says, oh, well, if you want money, get it from your own audience. Get it from your own audience. Why should I have to pay you? Get it from them. So DSP wants all the benefits of this match, right? Of this event, if you will. But he doesn't have any buy-in, or he doesn't want to put nothing in on it, or whatever. And then this lie of it breaking the internet or breaking numbers with Evo is ridiculous. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? There's no way people are going to give up Evo to watch this dumb shit. They'll just watch it after the fact. It doesn't really matter. So that doesn't benefit either one of them. And more importantly than that, there's no way that the FGC will ever elevate DSP, even if he does get a win on LTG. No one will care. LTG don't travel to tournaments no more. I don't even think he goes to his locals anymore. Who gives a shit? At this point, one could make the argument that he's already washed. Oh no, so you got two has-beens trying to play each other. But you're never going to get any clout off of LTG either. Excuse me. Because there are people in the FGC who do fuck with LTG still. They're not going to give you any fucking... They're not going to give you your flowers, Phil, just because you beat them. It doesn't mean anything. And that's the part that I think you understand, but you will never accept. You'll never accept it because it hurts you too damn much. And then the fact that you try to wrap LolCal Live into that bullshit's crazy. Let me go over that real fast. Even though you should have already seen it at this point. The reality is, LTG wasn't expecting the money from DSP. What LTG, I think, what he identified was, hey, you're coming to me for money and clout. If you need money, go over there with LolCal Podcast or it was LolCal Live. Go to LolCal Live and get that shit. Don't sit there and come to me about that. You've got a lot that you need to do before you can even approach me. You already have an opportunity to make money. Go over there and do it. You already have an opportunity to get some clout or to try to build your name up or whatever the fuck. Go do it. But you're not going to do it off my name. That's what it comes down to. And that's what DSP's mad about. Because DSP looks at LTG as, this is weird. He looks at LTG like he's beneath him. But yet, he's also so quick to elevate LTG above him as well. It's really weird. Like, he tries to make LTG out to be his villain that he could beat at any given time. But then he wants to elevate him to such a shit too. Now, granted, this is something that the Romans did too. Like, you know what I'm saying, historically with their enemies. Like, look at what they did with Hannibal Barca. Same shit. So, kind of, sort of, you could say. Like, Scipio's family spent a lot of time with that propaganda. It is what it is. So, I guess you could say he's just following in those lines. But I also think, though, too, that it's very clear DSP has a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for LTG in the exact same way that Wings of Redemption has for DSP. But DSP can't manipulate or maneuver LTG in a way that he wants to. And then I still think that there's a level of underlying racism there too, which is why DSP is so adamant to try to stay on him. Like, you know, hey boy, you don't have anything else to do. You should be doing what I want. And I honestly think that's how DSP feels in the end, but semantics, we can tackle that on another day. And but yet again, LTG has already proven to be his own man. And the thing is, and this is really gonna sound fucked up, but I've said this before, DSP treats LTG like a toy. He treats him like that infamous Wolverine doll. You know what I'm saying? Or not doll, sorry, action figure. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's on some I guess you could say it's on some booty warrior type shit. I want you, I'm gonna have you. It's like that. You know what I'm saying? It's literally like that. And DSP's mad that for whatever reason, like, LTG won't take the knee. But LTG don't have a reason to. And then if you go back to the whole thing with LolCal Live, and DSP ends up mentioning it, by the way, about how, you know, LTG wouldn't have been a fit, so on and so forth. Yet again, LTG is his own man. You know, Keem wouldn't have been able to control him. He knows that. You know what I'm saying? And LTG is not going to bow to him. The moment LTG doesn't get what he wants, or he feels like he's not getting paid what he deserves, he's going to leave. Anybody with some type of self-respect would have done that. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why all those guys over there are sticking to all that scripted bullshit. There's nothing real over there anymore. They don't even know what's real or anything anymore. For example, as it pertains to LolCal Live, last night they went over this thing. They went over some of Jordy's demands, or Wings of Redemption. They went over some of his demands for coming back to the show. And CD-ROM, that's the new third seat, the guy that he's really only up there because they're trying to get him laid, and he's really just a place warmer or a place saver until they get Jordy back. And I think he realizes that, but he's trying to play this whole, hey, Jordy is ungrateful, he's not loyal, I'm busting my ass to stay here, basically, and this, that, and the third. And Boogie was like, hey, if Jordy agrees to come back, you're gone. And Keem said the same thing. He's like, hey, if Jordy does come back, you are gone. That's not scripted. Let me be the first one to tell you, if Jordy does say today, all right, pimp, I'm coming back, CD-ROM's done. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to move. They may throw him a bone and throw him onto one of the other shows and shit. But man, he's done. He's done. Keem is dead set on having Wings back up there on the main panel because they need him. They need him. And if they can get him back, and then Keem can somehow pull off this whole frenemies bullshit with him and Becky, then he really has everything he needs at this point. So him and Pedophile behind the camera can split up the rest of the LCU and everybody can have what they want. Because Keem only needs control of LoCal Live, LoCal Queens, his spinoff of Frenemies, and LoCal Rewind. And that's probably it. That's probably the only 4 shows that he really needs. Fucking Pedo behind the camera can get the rest of the shit. Kid behind the camera can get all the rest of the bullshit, and he can deal with it, basically. So there's really nothing else of value. But they need Wings back because they need what viewership or what sympathy audience that they may still have left. They need him back over there. And then Keem admitted last night, as well as Boogie, that yeah, the whole fight thing was staged, except for the fact that Wings lost the goddamn plot and pushed Kelly. That part is bullshit, though. Kelly, I think, was always part of that plan. I think Wings just went too far with it, because Wings' explanation about, oh, I thought it was supposed to be a 250-pound former Marine or whatever that guy's credentials are. He was the one that was supposed to get pushed, yada yada, not Kelly. Yeah, you're not pushing that guy over more than likely. And even if you did, it wouldn't have looked legit. He would have sat there and fumbled around and shit. It would have looked fucking stupid. It would have looked crazy. So it wouldn't have worked either which way. Wings just needs to accept that he lost control of himself in the situation. He fucked up, but he won't do it. And that's why you have you have Boogie and Keem now sweeping, saying, oh, it was all part of the initial thing in the first place. Wings lost control. The reality is Kelly was always going to get that push. That's the thing. It just looked worse than what they thought it would. End of story. So there's that. So back to this, in closing, this is never going to happen as it pertains to LTG and DSP. LTG has all the upside. DSP don't have shit. It's just not beneficial to any party. It's literally just a waste of space and time, to be honest. And they're not going to break Evo. And here's the reality of the breaking Evo weekend thing. The reason why DSP focuses on Evo is because, as far as I know, LTG is still... Is he still banned from Evo, or is he just banned from all Capcom Cup events? Now that I think about it. And that was over that Zero Blast situation. I can't remember now. I have to look it up, but I can't remember now. But that's why DSP is trying to use Evo as the lure. Because DSP he's stupid. He's very stupid. But he knows they're not going to beat any game in views over Evo weekend. That's just retarded. But he's using that as the lure. Excuse me. He's doing that as the lure to get fucking LTG in pocket. But LTG don't have nothing to prove to none of those guys anyway. Nor do any of those guys even really care. LTG's not playing. He's not on the field right now. So no one's worried about him. So DSP's whole strategy here is just stupid as fuck. Phil, you're broke. That's why you don't have the 5,000. Like I said, last time I checked, it was 10,000. To pay LTG, fair enough. You bringing up his child support payments, his new place, the roommate, okay, you're stalking him. I already knew that. I've been saying that. So everybody else who didn't know that or didn't think about that is just now catching up. And as far as I'm concerned, you're both broke. As far as I'm concerned, you're both broke. So congratulations, you're both fuck ups. End of story, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the situation with fucking DSP and LTG. DSP being up all types of early mornings on his day off, obsessing about a black man and whatnot. He looking to try to beat up in a fucking video game. Insane. And then he'll come back tomorrow, well, today, when you guys see this, and be like, yeah, I offered LTG this challenge 2 years ago and he won't accept, and he's missing an opportunity. Why won't he just play ball? There's nothing to play ball with. There's nothing to play ball with. You're not equipped to pull off what you think you're going to pull off, and the FGC don't care. And you know the FGC doesn't care. You just want the win over LTG to make up for that Street Fighter 4 match. And for those of you who know your lore, in closing, DSP and LTG ran into each other in a match in Street Fighter 4 back in the day. It was like Rolento. I want to say it was like Rolento and Bison, maybe? I want to say it was like Rolento Bison, maybe. I could be wrong. So Actually, you know what? Give me a second. I'm like, let me look this up real fast. Yeah, I was right. It's LTG versus it was LTG versus DSP. It was Bison versus Relento. LTG versus Relento. I'll actually link that match down in the description. It's like 3 minutes. I'll link it down in the description. You guys can check that out and make of that what you make of that what you will. DSP got mollywopped in that bitch. God damn, he got cleaned up. That's all DSP is really going for. He's hoping to get some clout off of the FGC. Hey, I'm another guy that can be put up there with Viscant. I beat LTG, even though I don't think he can win. And also, so he can get that win, he can try to at least even it up. 1-1 in this one-sided rivalry bullshit that DSP likes to spout around. And hopefully try to finagle that into your tiebreaker later. DSP, I see you. Anybody who gives a fuck about the FGC and who knows shit and understands shit, they see you in the story. So there's nothing that's gonna come out of this. It's cute, but nothing's gonna come out of this. It's fucking lame. But I'll let DSP run around with his obsession over some random over another lol cow. Let it be what it is. But what do you guys think? How do you guys feel? Let me know. And whatnot. And like I said, I'm gonna work on the actual video itself later. I'll probably use the memology rendition. I really want to use the Hate Army one because he has it at full stop. He has like the whole segment. But I kind of just want to focus on that one part for right now. And then we can double back to Hate Army to the Hate Army rendition later on. I might do that. And whatnot. I might do that. I may actually do that way. And whatnot. Big ups to the Hate Army, big ups to memology. Big ups to Snort Hogan too, because Snort Hogan has, I think he has it linked. And big ups to SnortBucks, obviously. SnortBucks has it as well. So either the memology version or the rendition or the SnortBucks version is what I'm using. And then then I'll double back later and we'll go over the whole segment with Hate Army. So that'll be a thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. This has been, I'll name this segment later, GTG Spits That Grease, so on and so on. I'll catch you guys for the next one. So much stuff to add into this. Woo, boy, this is going to be fun. But I'll catch you guys for the next one. Take care of yourselves, people. Later.